Hello, and welcome to Under 1000. My name's Thomas Flower, and each episode I'll read you a piece of super short fiction. All of the stories are 1,000 words or less. Today, I'll be reading A New Way of Life. Hey, are you going to be in or around Glasgow on the 5th of December? I'm hosting a queer/fiction open mic night at Category is Books from 7pm. Check out the Under 1000 Facebook page for more details and come join us if you can. It should be a lot of fun. Please be aware that this episode contains strong language and deals with themes of colonialism and genocide. So if that's likely to upset you or anyone you're listening with, then you might want to skip this one. It was strange how something so majestic and awe-inspiring could so quickly become yet another boring backdrop, Dejah thought to himself. Looking out on XR 23105 had inspired so much overwhelming emotion in the crew when they had first arrived, and yet now it was just another blue-green blob of colour on the horizon, sitting passively as they all went about their work. It had been several decades since scientists back on Earth had discovered an inhabitable planet. Flung far across the heavens in a small trinary star system, XR 23105 had been immediately hailed as humanity's chance to prosper once again. Reaching it was a challenge nobody saw being achieved in their lifetimes, though, and for the vast majority of those who worked on the project, this belief held true. Now, however, the highly engineered UEN Hope and Faith had achieved the previously unthinkable, bringing with it a wave of fervent joy and excitement, which humanity had not seen for quite some time. But all that was months ago, Dejah thought bitterly, and now it's getting boring here. The main work for the crew was to scan the planet for resources and further information, and to take the occasional journey to the surface in order to catalogue various floras, faunas, natural landscapes and other items of interest. The cataloguing process was a long and meticulous one. It made sense, of course. Those in charge of the project wanted to know exactly what settlers might be dealing with before they even thought about sending the first colony ships. However, once the media glow had worn off and the crushing mundanity of non-stop data entry and scanning had settled in, many of the crew began to question what they had signed up for. 1,000 credits a month isn't enough for this shit, Dejah muttered quietly under their breath, breathing a heavy sigh as they picked up another near-identical rock and scanned for mineral makeup. Dejah missed the family and friends left behind on Earth, and while they were entirely sold on the importance of this project to the future of the human race, sometimes being the one leading the charge was a lot more lonely and miserable than expected. As Dejah wallowed further into bleak and unhappy thoughts, a deep blue light suddenly began flashing from the consoles where the crew sat working. "Code Blue, everybody, Code Blue! This is not a drill!" the research team's leader rang out loudly across the decks. Dejah tried to think back to the training they had all been given before leaving. What was Code Blue again? There were so many colours, all with incredibly different meanings. Code Blue... Blue... They searched the depths of their memory for a few seconds before recalling. Discovery of intelligent life. Grabbing their tool bag, Dejah ran to the meeting room along with the other researchers, frantic to discover what this new development would mean for them all. "We're not sure yet. Findings haven't been entirely confirmed, but we believe that the newly catalogued species is capable of speech, tool-making, and rudimentary social and cultural networks." Dejah entered as the lead researcher was in full flow. "The beings, which are named Humanoid XR1 for the time being, are obviously still in a very early stage of development, but nonetheless it appears they are of equal or possibly greater intelligence to our own primordial ancestors." "What does this mean for the colonization project?" a junior researcher piped up, too overcome with the excitement of the moment to remember the ship-mandated etiquette around chains of command. "The communications team is in contact with HQ as we speak, but it looks like we are to carry on as usual. We've been given strict instructions to proceed with the overall aim of complete planetary colonization." A murmur went through the assembled crew, some expressing relief, some confusion, and some outright incredulity. Silencing the crowd quickly and impatiently, the lead researcher spoke once again. "That is all for now. Please return to your posts and proceed as normal until further instructions are given. I require only the senior officers to stay for a short briefing." Dejah sat, unsure of what was to come next, as the more junior staff filed out. Once only the requested crew members remained, and after ensuring that the door had been properly auto-locked, the head of the team spoke up once again. "What I say is not to leave this room, on pain of dismissal from your position or worse, insubordination charges. Am I entirely clear?" The small number of crew seated around the table nodded cautiously, unsure of themselves in this new territory. "The higher-ups have decided the humanoid XR-1 is an inconvenience we cannot afford. After all that the Earth and its people have been through, I'm sure we are all very much aware that this is our final shot at self-rehabilitation in many ways. For that reason, it has been decided that humanoid XR-1 must be removed quickly and covertly. An accident of some kind, something to wipe them out so that we don't have to deal with the social and political mess of ethical committees, protest groups, and governmental red tape that trying to incorporate them into our new social order will entail. Those of you sat here have been given the next 3 days to create suggestions for what to do next. A meeting will take place at 0700 hours on Stardate 1-5-3201, after which we will implement an agreed-upon plan. Any attempt to subvert or prevent this mission will be dealt with quickly and harshly. Is that entirely understood?" Dejah nodded along with the others, a creeping sickness overwhelming them. After all the talk of humanity's bright new future, had it really come back to the disgusting and barbaric tradition of genocidal colonialism? Suddenly, majestic dullness seemed like a beautiful, distant dream. Thank you for listening to Under 1000. I'm your host, Thomas Flower. To follow the show online, look for Under 1000 Pod on Twitter or Facebook. If you'd like to support the show on Patreon, go to patreon.com/under1000pod, where you can sign up to read each month's stories in advance, as well as to have a thank you be read during these credits. The theme music is an instrumental version of In Between Days by Nick Tate and the Sharks. To hear the full song and more from the same EP, go to Nick Tate, NICTATE, and thesharks.bandcamp.com, or search for them on your favourite streaming platform. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and that you'll join me again next time for some more super short fiction.